So starting to build the passenger side kitchen, we're going to start with the upright sections. We're going to get all 4 of those cut and then kind of get those laid out in there roughly, and then we'll cut the in-betweens that'll tie it all together. And for the piece that goes over the water tank, we got really lucky. We have a piece that we already cut out over here for the water tank for the driver's side, so all we have to do is cut it to height and width, and then this piece will be ready, and then we'll move on to the full sheet. So we've got this that was already cut out, which is nice. So just putting it next to the furring strip, tracing along it, so that way it'll butt in nicely like this one did for the bed. For some reason the sound stopped working on this clip, but all I'm saying here is we're working on cutting out the toe kicks for the cabinets. And here we just brought in all the upright pieces to test them out and see how they looked before we put them all together.
So we thought we would save you some of the boredom of cutting, banding, sanding, pocket holes, because after a while that stuff just gets to be a lot, and that's what we did all day yesterday. So we thought we would pick it back up when it was a little bit more exciting, when we're going to be putting our whole passenger side kitchen together.
And you get to see the big reveal today.
Yes, you'll get to see the whole thing put together today, which is very exciting for you and for us. But we have already figured out like kind of what's going where and what measurements that needs to be for things to fit the way that we want them to, because we're making this very, very, very custom. So you're going to get to see this whole reveal and kind of where we're going to be putting everything, how everything's going to work, and there's going to be a couple little like fancy features.
Yeah, and we're not gonna like really get ready for the fancy features today.
No.
This is just kind of like the base shell.
But we'll be able to show you where they are.
Yeah. Like that. So you'll see this when we get all of these built in there, but the cabinets are a little bit different depth from the one we just built to this one, so we're building them separately. So now we're on to the second half of this.
Okay, this is how it looks from the outside. And then you come in.
I think it looks sick.
We go here.
I like the amount of space. This is what we're talking about, where it's not as deep here, because if we were to keep this, when it comes out to this cabinet, it would be really tight. So it goes back, and I don't know if it's kind of hard to tell, but like we made this one a little bit less, a little bit more shallow, I guess I should say, because if you push this too close to like this gasket, if you ever add like a bug screen or something, we ran into our last van, it's like really hard to put it on and it's really tight. So now we'll have plenty of space where we don't have to worry about that. But I like it.
I think it looks really good.
It's a good space.
Okay, so we're gonna give you a little bit of a layout of where things are gonna go in the kitchen. So you already know over here we're gonna have the sink and like silverware, some drawers, things like that. But for the passenger side, we're going to have everything else. So back here in this section, we got this idea from Court and Nate. She did a pop-up beauty cabinet right here in their van, but I don't really have that much like beauty products. So instead, we're going to do a pop-up coffee bar, which I think is gonna be really cool. And then in front of that, we'll just have some drawers. We're not really sure how we want to utilize the space in front yet because it is a little bit more shallow. So we're going to work on that before we actually finalize what we want to do there. But then moving here, we're going to have our toaster oven / microwave right here. We had a toaster oven in our last van, and honestly, we wouldn't be able to survive without one because pretty much everything that we eat requires a toaster oven, and it would be really convenient to have a microwave, so we're just going to get like the combo. So that'll go here, and then we'll have our cooktop in a drawer below that, and then down below all of our like pots, pans, things that just need a place, and we didn't really have that in our last van. Up here we're gonna do a dual-sided pantry. So we decided that this is a little bit too big for just one full slide out, but this was like the best use of the space for us because we wanted to have the kitchen come out just a little bit to be past here, and we don't want to be relying on the upper cabinets to store like all of our food. So in our last van we had a little middle cabinet, and that's where we kept like canned goods and stuff like that, but that's gonna go here now. So we're gonna put a piece of wood that goes down the middle, and then we'll have basically dual sliders. So one side can slide out, the other side can slide out, and we'll kind of decide how best to utilize what goes in what side when the time comes. But we think that that's going to be way better for food storage because in our last van, if you've been following us a while, in this middle cabinet we had to reach back so far or take like everything out, and that's just, it's not fun, it's not practical. So having something that slides out and you can kind of just bring everything out into the open, get what you need, put it back in, gets it out of the way, and it makes it easier to use. So that's pretty much the entire kitchen. All of our plates, bowls, cups, whatever can go up in the one upper cabinet. But I think we're gonna have so much kitchen storage, it's not even funny. But I'm excited about it.
Me too.
It's time to secure these. These have to go in separately because they're different sizes, so we built them each independently. How's it going?
I think it's in. I think we're done for now. Because there's a few more spots we need to secure in, but we have to figure out more things before we're ready to do those. But I mean, this thing is not going anywhere, even how it is. So I think it looks really good. I like it a lot. I'm really glad we moved this back. It looks like we got a lot of stuff done.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I told you about this. I had a dream last night, I think it was, that I got a paper cut. I think we were at the airport.
This is the second dream that you've told me about that you've had a paper cut. Why are you getting cut by so much paper in your dreams?
I don't know, but we were at the, I'm pretty sure we were at the airport, and I got this paper cut in my finger, and it was like the most alarming paper cut that you could ever imagine. It split my finger in half.
It's pretty big.
No. Like, I got a paper cut. It was a little tiny cut right here on the top of my finger. And then I took the paper away from my hand, but the cut just kept going. It kept like growing down my finger.
How does it even happen?
I don't know. But then I look down and the cut is just growing. My finger splitting in half. And I could just see down into my finger. But then I was like, oh my God, I need stitches. Like, this is not even like, oh, I can just get a Band-Aid and it'll be all right. No, I needed stitches.